When your fiancée disappears for a week with her spiritual advisor to test if the universe wants you together, you don't wait for signs. You make your own. I learned that the hard way. My name's Ethan Cole, 33, civil engineer, planner by trade, rational by nature. I thought life was finally aligning. Career steady, mortgage halfway paid off, engagement ring shining on the hand of Lila Hart, the woman I believed was my calm in chaos. We'd been together for 3 years, engaged for 10 months, wedding date locked. June 22nd. 140 guests. Beachside venue. Everything prepaid. And then, one Tuesday night, while I was staring at our seating chart trying to figure out where to put her vegan yoga friends without offending my steak-loving cousins, Lila came in looking like someone about to confess to a crime. "Ethan," she said softly, standing by the kitchen island, "I need to talk to you about something important." She looked nervous, hands fidgeting with the crystal necklace I'd seen her wear since she started those meditation classes 6 months ago. "What's up?" I asked, setting down the pen. She took a deep breath. "I've been having doubts." My heart sank a little. "About the wedding?" "About life," she said dramatically, eyes glassy. "About energy, alignment, the universe." "Here we go." "Okay," I said, keeping my voice calm. Pre-wedding jitters are normal. Everyone freaks out a little before making a huge commitment. She shook her head. "It's more than jitters. Noah says I need to align my chakras before making a lifelong promise." There was Noah, her spiritual advisor, a 30-something guy with a man bun, soft voice, and the type of bracelet you buy from Etsy under the tag, Enlightened Energy. He charged $200 per session to burn sage and tell Lila she was a light worker trapped in an earthbound frequency. I stared at her. "And what exactly does that mean, Lila?" "It means," she said, hesitating, "I need to go on a spiritual retreat to test if we're truly meant to be." My stomach twisted. "A test?" She nodded, like it was the most reasonable thing in the world. "The universe will give me signs. Noah says he has a cabin upstate. No phones, no internet, just meditation, silence, and pure connection with the cosmos." I blinked at her. "You're leaving for a week to a cabin with Noah." She rolled her eyes like I was the one being ridiculous. "It's not like that, Ethan. He's enlightened. Physical desires are beneath him." "Sure, because all enlightened men invite engaged women to remote cabins to talk about energy." She frowned. "You're letting your ego speak. That's exactly what Noah warned me about. Resistance to spiritual growth." I sat back in my chair, trying not to laugh out loud. "So, let me get this straight. You want to go off-grid 2 months before our wedding with your male spiritual advisor to see if the universe approves of our marriage?" "Yes," she said, completely serious. "If we're meant to be, this will only make us stronger. And if we're not," she touched my cheek gently, "wouldn't you rather know now?" That was it. That was the moment something inside me quietly died. She kissed me goodbye the next morning like she was leaving for a business trip. Her suitcase was filled with yoga pants, incense, and a journal titled Messages from the Universe. I watched her car disappear down the street, made myself a cup of coffee, and sat at the table staring at the engagement photo on my phone. Her laughing, me kissing her temple, both of us stupidly in love. Then I opened my laptop and started planning. First call, the venue. "Hi, this is Ethan Cole. I need to cancel the Cole Hart wedding on June 22nd. The coordinator sounded surprised. "Oh, is everything all right, Mr. Cole? You'll lose your deposit." "I understand," I said flatly. "Please make it official today." "Well, we do have a wait list for June. Actually, the Carters have been hoping for that date." "Perfect," I said. "Give it to them." Click. Next. The caterer, the florist, the DJ, the photographer. Canceled. Lost about $9,000 total in deposits. Worth every penny. Then came the guest list. 140 names. Friends. Family. Lila's cousins. Her college roommates. Her spiritual circle. I drafted an email. Subject: the Cole Hart wedding has been canceled. Dear friends and family. We regret to inform you that our wedding, scheduled for June 22nd, has been canceled. We appreciate your understanding and support during this time. Ethan, send it to everyone, including Lila's maid of honor, Harper. Within minutes, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Calls, texts, voicemails. Lila's mom called 6 times. Harper texted, "What happened?" Lila isn't answering. "Is she okay?" I replied, "She's on a spiritual retreat with Noah. No phone for a week." The typing bubbles appeared instantly. "Wait, what? With that creepy guy who leads the chakra classes? The one who stares at her during meditation?" The very one. I replied, "You canceled the wedding?" She wanted to test if we were meant to be. I got my answer. There was a long pause, then, "Good for you." I spent the rest of the week dismantling our life. Boxed her things neatly. Her crystals, books about past lives, vegan cookbooks she never opened. Canceled our joint streaming accounts. Remove her as my emergency contact. Updated my will. Systematic. Cold. Peaceful. On day 3, her sister called. "Ethan, what's going on?" "Mom's having a meltdown. Ask Lila when she gets back from her spiritual awakening. You can't just cancel a wedding. She can't just vanish with another man and expect me to wait around. It's not like that. Noah's her mentor." "Cool," I said. "Hope she finds enlightenment. Somewhere that's not my house." Day 6, I got an unexpected call from the venue coordinator again. "Mr. Cole, I thought you should know." A woman called asking about the 22nd. She said her friend's venue fell through. When I mentioned that date just opened up, she got really quiet and hung up. Did she give a name? No, but she sounded young. Nervous. Thought you might want to know. "Thanks," I said, and hung up smiling. Day 7. She came back. The door opened just before sunset. Lila walked in glowing like she stepped out of a yoga retreat brochure. Sun-kissed skin, serene smile, a new crystal pendant around her neck. "Ethan," she said, dropping her bag. "I miss you so much. The universe gave me such clarity." She froze. Half the living room was filled with boxes labeled Lila. Bedroom/closet/bathroom. "What's all this?" she whispered. "Your stuff," I said simply. "I figured you'd need it packed since the wedding's off." Her smile faltered. "What?" "No, Ethan, wait. What are you talking about? You went to test if we're meant to be. Test complete." "That's not..." "Ethan, listen. I had revelations. We are meant to be. The universe confirmed it." "The universe must have been busy," I said. I canceled everything and let everyone know. Her phone buzzed on cue. Harper calling. She picked up. "Hey, what do you mean the venue's available again?" She turned to me, face draining of color. "You actually canceled it?" "Everything," I said. "Venue, vendors, guests. Gave our date to another couple. Hope they're meant to be." Her voice cracked. You can't just..." "Lila, you left to find answers. I just followed the signs." She sank onto the couch, shaking, whispering, "The universe didn't mean for this." I looked her in the eye. "No, Lila, the universe just showed me who you really are." The week after Lila's return to enlightenment was like living with a stranger who'd swapped out logic for moon dust. She floated around the house humming mantras, burning incense, acting like she hadn't detonated our wedding. Every time she caught me packing, she'd whisper, "Don't do this, Ethan. The universe didn't mean for us to separate. The universe didn't cancel the wedding," I said one morning. "You did." She followed me to the door, eyes wide. "You're just hurt." I went to realign my energy, and now you're punishing me. "Punishing you?" I laughed. "You vanished with another man 2 months before our wedding. You call that alignment. I call it cheating with extra steps." Tears shimmered, but I was done with cosmic guilt trips. I walked out. By the next day, she'd mobilized a full Save Our Relationship committee. Her mom, sister, maid of honor. They showed up at my doorstep like an intervention. "Ethan, sweetie," her mom said, voice trembling. Lila made a mistake. She got confused. She got enlightened. I corrected, and I got clarity. Same outcome. The sister tried logic. You've already spent years together. You can't throw that away. I'm not throwing away, I said calmly. I'm returning it to its rightful owner, Lila and her guru. Lila's mom gasped, as if I'd sworn in church. You'll regret this. Maybe, but at least I'd regret it alone. 2 days later, Lila showed up again, uninvited, holding a tray of homemade vegan muffins, a peace offering that smelled like cardboard and desperation. I've been meditating on this, she said softly. Noah and I connected spiritually, but not physically. I swear, he helped me see that I was meant to be with you. Right, I said, biting into a muffin that tasted like sawdust. He helped you realize I was your soulmate after a week alone with him in the woods. Her eyes filled. He's actually been distant since the retreat. Maybe he's testing me now. You ever think he's just sleeping with another light worker? Her jaw dropped. You're so cynical. I'm practical, I said. It's why I canceled a $40,000 wedding before it turned into a reality TV episode. She put the tray down hard. I came here to heal, not to be mocked. Then you came to the wrong address. She stormed out, muttering something about bad karma. By that weekend, she'd shifted tactics, from guilt to reputation control. Friends started calling, saying Lila was telling everyone the cancellation was mutual, that I'd had commitment issues. So I posted one polite message on social media. For those asking, yes, the wedding is off. I wish Lila the best on her spiritual journey with Noah. Please respect our privacy. 5 minutes later, Harper texted, That post is savage. Proud of you. Apparently, the journey with Noah line hit harder than I expected. Within hours, the gossip flipped. Lila's perfect energy image cracked fast once people realized she'd been testing her alignment with another man. Her group chats imploded. She messaged me that night, furious. You humiliated me publicly. I replied, No, Lila, you did that when you left. I just provided subtitles. A week passed. I focused on work, gym, and fixing the house. For the first time in months, my head was quiet. Then one evening, I saw a car I recognized parked outside. Lila's. I opened the door before she could knock. She looked exhausted, eyes puffy, mascara smudge, wearing one of my old hoodies. Please, Ethan, she whispered. I just lost my job. I can't stay with my parents. They won't talk to me after what happened. Can I stay here for a few days? Every sane part of me screamed no, but pity is a dangerous reflex. 3 nights, I said finally. Guest room only. She nodded quickly, grateful. Thank you. You're still the only person who understands me. Wrong. I understood her perfectly now. The next morning, I left early for work. When I got back that evening, the guest room looked untouched, but the bedroom closet was open. My laptop bag was on the floor. I found her sitting on the couch scrolling through my emails. Looking for something? I asked. She flinched. I was just, checking if maybe you'd been messaging someone. I thought maybe there was another woman. There isn't, I said flatly. But if there were, she'd at least know how to respect privacy. She started crying again. I just don't know how to be without you. Then maybe start by being honest with yourself. I said, grabbing the laptop. Pack your things, Lila. But, no buts. The universe sent you here for closure, not a comeback. 2 nights later, she was gone again, this time for good. Harper told me later she'd moved in with Noah temporarily, though temporarily turned out to be the key word, because about a month after that, Noah launched his new Soul Resonance workshop, complete with professional photos of him holding another woman, tagged #TwinFlame. Lila commented a single broken heart emoji, then deleted it. Karma, it seemed, was punctual. By the time June 22nd rolled around, the date that should have been our wedding day, I was sitting in my backyard, beer in hand, watching the sunset instead of listening to vows. Harper texted, You doing okay today? I sent her a picture of the sky. Better view than the beach venue. A minute later, she replied, Funny thing, guess who showed up at the resort today trying to reclaim her energy? I didn't even have to ask. Apparently, Lila had booked a solo retreat at the same place where our reception was supposed to happen. According to the staff, she spent half the day crying near the gazebo where we planned to exchange vows. Somewhere between pity and irony, I realized I didn't feel angry anymore. Just done. She had her signs. I had my peace. And sometimes, that's all the revenge you need. 3 months. That's how long it took for the noise to fade. The call stopped. The text dwindled. Even Lila's mother eventually gave up sending tearful voicemails about second chances. The only thing that still echoed from that life was a faint smell of lavender incense whenever I opened a box I hadn't fully unpacked. By then, my new reality felt peaceful. Mornings with coffee on the back porch. Evenings rebuilding the house I'd neglected during the engagement. Silence, real, earned silence. Until one Friday night, I opened my email to find a name that made my stomach clench. Subject: "We need to talk. Please read." From Lila Hart. I hovered over the trash icon, but curiosity won. Ethan, I've been seeing a therapist. Not Noah, real therapy. I realized how lost I got in someone else's beliefs. I was naive. I miss you more than I can express. Please let me talk to you. Just once. Lila. I stared at it for a long time. The old ache flickered for a second, but only a second. I closed the laptop. Some people learn from pain. Others keep trying to repackage it as love. 2 weeks later, Harper texted me. "Hey, just FYI, Lila posted something weird on her socials." I didn't follow her anymore, but Harper sent screenshots anyway. There she was, standing on a cliff overlooking the ocean, eyes closed, caption reading. The universe took what wasn't a line so I could find my higher self again. No regrets, only lessons. And in the next photo, Noah, shirtless, arm around her waist, both glowing like they'd swallowed the sun. Harper added, "So much for missing you." I just laughed. Guess her chakras lined up again. But life has a funny way of tying its own loose ends. A few weeks later, I got a call from Adam, the owner of the construction firm I sometimes collaborated with. "Hey, Ethan," he said, sounding amused. "You won't believe who just applied for our administrative coordinator position." "Who?" "Some wellness influencer named Lila Hart. She used you as a reference." I nearly choked. "What?" "She listed you as her fiancée. Said you'd vouch for her character." I leaned back in my chair, a slow smile spreading. "Oh, I'll vouch for her, all right." He laughed. I figured something was off. Thought I'd check with you first. "Appreciate it, man. You want the honest reference." "Always." I told him the truth. No embellishment, no dramatics. Just the facts. That she'd abandoned our wedding to follow her spiritual advisor into the woods. That she ghosted me for a week. That she came back acting like destiny was a get-out-of-jail-free card. Adam whistled low. "Damn. Glad I called. We'll pass." I thanked him, hung up, and sat there grinning. She wanted the universe to decide her path. Seems like it did. That could have been the end. But closure isn't always quiet. It's often poetic. 6 months after the canceled wedding, I was attending a local tech expo, chatting with a potential client near the entrance when I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Ethan?" I turned. Lila stood there in a sleek gray blazer, a lanyard around her neck reading Assistant. Wellness Innovations Incorporated. Her smile was cautious, but hopeful. "Wow, you look good." "So do you," I said politely. "Working the expo?" "Yeah," she said, tucking her hair behind her ear. "Noah and I, well, we started this holistic product line together. Energy sprays, meditation tools. It's been rough lately. Investors pulled out. We're here hoping to find new partners." There was again the word "we." "So you're still with him?" I said. Her smile wavered. "We're figuring things out. He's been different lately. Distant. I think he's seeing someone else." I raised an eyebrow. "Shocking." She looked down, voice small. "I made a mistake, Ethan. A big one. I thought I was following something divine, but I was just running from someone who actually cared." There was genuine regret in her eyes, maybe for the first time. But regret doesn't rebuild burned bridges. It just illuminates the ashes. I hope you figure out, Lila, I said quietly. Truly. Then I nodded toward the investor panel. But I have a meeting. Take care. As I walked away, I caught her whisper, soft, almost pleading. The universe still owes me one sign. I didn't look back. 2 months later, that sign arrived, but not the way she'd hoped. I was out for dinner with friends when Harper sent me a link. Breaking. Wellness Innovations collapses amid fraud allegations. Founders Noah Rivers and Lila Hart under investigation. Turns out, Noah had been skimming investor funds for months, using the business as a covered bankroll of his retreats. Lila, listed as co-founder and signatory, was legally implicated. Noah vanished to Bali. Lila left behind to deal with lawyers and unpaid debts. Harper called me later, voice low. She's losing everything. The house, the car. Her family cut her off. She told a friend she wished she'd never gone to that retreat. I didn't gloat, not out loud, but inside, it felt like watching the final domino fall in a line I hadn't even needed to touch. The universe did the work for me. A year later, my life looked nothing like the wreckage she'd left. The fixer-upper house was done, painted, furnished, full of warmth. I'd started hiking again, joined a local climbing group, and somewhere along the way, met Lena, a pediatric nurse with a dry wit and a heart like gravity. Steady, grounding. We met on a trail, both reaching for the same water bottle at a refill station. She laughed, called Mr. Overprepared. And by the end of the hike, I was more at peace than I'd been in years. She never asked about Lila, never needed to. One night, as we sat on the porch watching the sunset, Lena leaned her head on my shoulder and said, "You ever think about how small the world feels when you stop chasing people who aren't meant to stay?" I smiled. Yeah, the universe works faster when you stop waiting for it to send a sign. She grinned. Exactly. And just like that, it clicked. Lila had spent her life waiting for signs. I learned to be one for myself. Months later, I got one final email from Lila. No anger, no pleading, just a few lines. "Ethan, you were right. The universe wasn't trying to test us. It was trying to free you. I hope you're happy." Lila, I didn't reply. Instead, I stood on that same porch, coffee in hand, watching the dawn rise over my backyard. The air smelled clean. No incense. No pretense. Just new light on new life. For the first time in a long time, I felt completely aligned. And if there was a universe up there sending signs, I had one message for it. Message received.